I don't usually use a canvas, so yeah, welcome. I'm just recording. I painted this a long time ago for our parents' doctor, and it was after my mother passed. And I'm just recreating the painting that I did before, and from a different perspective for me, of course, but something that I can sit back and enjoy doing this time. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy it. First, I draw, I sketch out what I see. May not talk a lot. I may not get the whole thing drawn or sketched. I'm gonna mess up. That's just part of it. I'm not trying to draw this to be accurate or anything. Not that good. But the painting that I did for him turned out quite well, and he seems to like it, so that's cool. I don't draw properly. I don't. That's not the way I roll. You know. So mine is very kind of kid level, but in the end result, I think it turns out pretty cool. Gonna be a lot of sketch, kind of mess ups and do overs, and it's just the way art is. But the cool thing about art is you can either paint over it or sketch it, unless you use markers and ink pens and you have ink pens and stuff. Now they're erasable. Now they're you know. Oops, lead broke. I don't like working with an easel because it's too upright. You know, I've got the back part of it pushed back as far as I can, so it's very awkward for my shoulder. And I have this on because my wrist aches a little bit, so one of the beauties of getting older. You're gonna do the same, repetitive motions after a while, you ache a little bit, so. Oh, and for Superman fans, I hope you like this. I think whenever I did the first one, I think it turned out quite well. His emblem, I remember having to work on quite a bit, and I hope, out of respect for Superman fans, I hope I do this painting justice. All this will be connected, through paint, what have you. Um, I may end this video to let my shoulder rest. Repetitive motions kind of get to me sometimes, so. If I was using things like this, it wouldn't bother me so bad, but with this, I have to have a little bit of stability. I've got another canvas behind this one, so it's a very awkward position. Do you like classical music? I'm listening to something that has grown very quickly on me. Vivaldi, I guess that's how you say it. I'm not a classical music connoisseur. I don't really get into classical music that much. But this one in particular, is really growing on me quick. Okay, so I've got his emblem, kind of. All right, so now I need to darken this a bit. His clothing. Need to darken edges. It's one thing I do remember when I drew this last time is like the edges, like the edge of his shirt or stuff like that. I have to darken quite a bit. There's his tie, beginning of it anyway. He was pretty cool, pretty fun to draw or whatever. It was just at that time in my life, I had just lost my mom, so it's kind of difficult for me to focus. So maybe this time around it'll be easier. Okay, so we've got his emblem. We have got, that needs to come down a little bit more. All right, so as I said, we've got his emblem. We've got just pieces of his cape. We've got the start of his shirt. And now we've got the start of his dress jacket and his ties and the shapes of his hands. So let's start with his hands. Whoops, broke again. Okay. I remember also when I worked on his hands before, I really had to kind of redo them, reshape them. But also some of this, I mean, you can work with it in pencil and it doesn't turn out right, but sometimes when you paint, it kind of comes forth. So don't give up on just because it doesn't look right, or give yourself some grace when you draw and when you paint. I'm very kind of old school, I just kind of pick up a pencil and draw, or just I've not taken any proper classes in painting. I mean, whenever I did do anything like that, it was in school. And usually, I'm going to be completely honest, usually in school they didn't teach the, stuff that I wanted to learn. They're teaching all this other stuff. So I did a lot of my learning at home. Luckily, my mom was into drawing at one point. My brother was. Okay, I'm going to draw a shadow right here. My dad could draw. I'm just drawing that roughly. Okay, so now we've got kind of a shadow going on here, just an outline of a shadow, and that's another thing too. Just getting outlines going here, getting colors placed, basic colors, basic layers of colors. All right, so now we're going to work on this lower part. You know, you see all these people when they draw faces, they draw the planes of the faces. I don't do that. Sometimes I do, every once in a while. My brother taught me to do that, and I'm just like, I kind of, there's times I start drawing faces upside down. So, I mean, I do with what works for me when it comes to drawing. All right, so now we've got this part of the shirt going on. Just kind of darken this. You just want an idea of where to start at. And then, let's see. Let's go this way. All right. So that's about as far as it goes. There's other reference photos, and I might use those as well, but because I remember the one that I used, I had a little bit more detail down this way, but we'll work with it. We'll work on this part first, and then if I feel like